Hello again, my loves. I would like to share an experience with you that happened to me a couple of days ago. The warnings include, but are not limited to, racism and homophobia. Watch at your own risk. Okay, so this all started with me playing with my grandma's dog and making a couple of jokes. I don't remember exactly what the jokes were, but I'm sure they had to do with me saying that I was going to cook and eat my grandma's dog, which I always tell her. But I'm almost sure that what I said was along the lines of, because he's a Chihuahua, I was going to make a taco out of him. But before you get on me for that, I am Hispanic and I have been making that joke since I was like 4 or 5 with my childhood dog. And the joke had always been that I was going to turn him into Chico tacos or burritos. Anyways, so back to the story. As I was playing with my grandma's dog, my grandpa had made a joke about how my grandma's chihuahua was black, and then he said the N word, like hard R, and then continued to call the dog that. And I mean, it's just a dog, but like the fact that he was saying it was crazy because my grandpa is very, very white. He is very white. I'm talking like he has curly ginger hair. Immediately, I told him, hey, you can't say that. That's a racist slur. You're white. You have no right to say that. So then he followed up by saying, yes, I can because black people say it, because they're allowed to say it. He's allowed to say it, is basically what he told me. I told him, no, you can't say that because you're white. That is their word. They can say that because it is their word. They've reclaimed that word. And his response was again just reiterating that he could say it if he wanted to because he was an adult. And I tried to explain to him by being like, hey, no, that's the same as you being like a very, very straight man saying like the F slur, and that would be a slur against gay people because you are not gay, so you cannot say it because it is our word. And he just like completely ignored me and continued to like reiterate how he could say it because he felt like it, because he wanted to, and that like again, because he was from a different time, that it didn't apply to him, and that it wasn't a slur because he came from a different generation than the one I came from. And obviously, I found that completely ridiculous and stupid. And again, like, just continued to try to tell him, no, that is racist. You cannot say that. It doesn't matter what like generation you came from. It is racist in every single generation. It is racist in every single context, except for if you were a black man saying it or a black woman saying it. The only time that would not be racist. And he, again, just completely ignored me. And then what really got me was that he then followed up by saying that I'm a close minded person and that if I continued to think the way that I think, I would never be invited to anything. And that I was going to miss out on all these like huge life experiences because I did not have his point of view on things. And I found that just to be like absolutely crazy that in the same sentence, he could say that it was okay to say the N word and call me a close minded person. And my my response basically was that like if if these events were going to be full of people that thought like him and had his mindset, then I was more than okay with not being invited and missing out on those experiences because those are places and people and experiences that I don't ever want to be included in and I don't ever want to experience because like these are you guys are the closed-minded people. It's not me that's the problem. It's you and your way of thinking because it is extremely, extremely racist and wrong and homophobic and transphobic and like it was just crazy that he said something like that in the same sentence as him saying that it was okay for him, a white male, to say the N word. And like sadly, this is not a one-time thing. Like it's not uncommon for him to say things like this. Like sadly, he's a very homophobic, transphobic, and racist person, as I've said before. Especially when he's like drunk, he tends to say those kind of things. Like he's been very openly like transphobic and homophobic to me, knowing that I am at least gay. He doesn't know that I am gender fluid, but he knows that I am gay, and he's very openly like against it and will call me out on it and like tell me that I'm wrong and that I'm woke and that my like opinions and my like experiences are invalid, like both because of my age and because of like me being a gay person's. So I find it very deeply upsetting that I have to be related to people like this. And he is not the only person in my family that is like this, not even like close to the only person. I think I'm one of the only people in my family that thinks the way that I do and that does not believe that those views are incredibly like very disappointing and like sad views to have on like life. And I don't understand how people can think like that, how they can be so okay with putting other people down and like just not see how double-edged their thinking is. Like they want a better world, but they are the ones actively making it worse. And it just doesn't make any sense to me, how people can think like that, even as a person who grew up with people that think like that. And at one point, when I was much younger, I thought a little bit like I always thought that like racism was wrong, but I was like very conservative as well. And I managed to get out of that, and I'm so glad that I did because like I would be so disappointed in myself if I thought like that, if I thought like him and the rest of my family did. Truly, it is absolutely like disappointing to me that my family thinks this way and that they don't just think this way, but they are more than comfortable with making me aware of how they think and bringing me down because of how they think. Okay, well, that's all for my story. Sorry, it's kind of like really like dark and depressing, but don't be shy to tell me experiences like this that you've had with people in your family or just like in your schools and stuff. Like, don't be shy to tell me about it or tell other people. Like, you shouldn't be scared to voice your opinions and like no one should have to be scared or even have to have like these experiences happen to them. It's truly sad that they do happen, and I feel really really like upset about it, obviously. So, yeah, please just like tell me experiences that you've had. I would absolutely love to read it in the comments. So, anyways, bye for now, my sweet little lovely followers. I love and cherish you guys so much. Thank you for listening to my story. And again, just don't be scared of your experiences because I want to hear them as much as I want you to hear mine.